Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Well, we are about a $50 cab ride away from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
Slide, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
2nd and 16. Looking to throw. Jenkins. Flush. And he's going to go down again. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd down. Boy, how about this to start a ball game? That's twice in a row now, Charles, that they get to it.
And how often do we talk about offenses that operate off of a script to begin games? Feels like this defense had their script together on this one, and their script said put the quarterback down and do it fast.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, Jenkins. He finds Corey Davis. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. It's a gain of 9, but it's also going to mean a punt here on their opening drive. Certainly not the start they were looking for offensively, coming off that loss last week on the road.
And they didn't do their job. They're going to feel poorly about that. But what they're going to do is look at the defense and say, can you pick us up here? And let's face it, defenses can score. We've seen it, right? They can take the ball away, create a big-time opportunity. Let's see if they can get that done.
Yeah, just something to jumpstart this home crowd. Fighting through the tackle at the 30. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They will be led out by the 6-foot lefty from Alabama. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big play there for Miami.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. Got an open man. It's Ruggs. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes two to tango. And that'll be incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that... high power, you got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The first carry now. This is Williams. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. Pistol. Here's Williams. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. Becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their 2nd drive. And they, of course, coming into this one in the midst of a tough losing streak. They did get helped out by the open week last week, and in talking with him, all indications were, Charles, that was a very helpful break.
Yeah, I know a lot of teams, coaches, they hate taking time off in the midst of a losing streak because they think they have to stay on their toes and punch their way out of it. But occasionally, you get that open week, you step back, evaluate what's been going wrong, see what you can put in that can move you forward, and maybe you get a chance to breathe a little bit and kind of start over. Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Throwing on 1st down. Jenkins. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. These two teams met up earlier in the year, back in week 4, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jenkins. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1. This defense for the Dolphins, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win. but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
On third down, Jenkins. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. What we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And got his man complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Henry Ruggs. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, he can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a pass.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's second down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Second and 11. Back to throw. Jenkins under pressure, and they got to him again. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up third down on the sack.
So once again, they dial up the pressure and get home and get a sack. It brings up a 3rd and long, but it's really not an unmakeable one, especially considering they just gave up back-to-back sacks.
The defense going to blanket the field. 6 now in the secondary here for 3rd and 15. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Here's the Jets punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are...
Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Then all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle, touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he has not really been able to have a lot. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
From the gun on third down, Jenkins flush to his right. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Yards on the return following a punt of 41. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Miami set to take over. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drives exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really...
Oh, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. And DP goes into Jets territory before being taken down. It's a big play there for Miami. So another on-target throw, and that last one, Charles, going to put him up over 5,000 yards passing out for the season, and that is not an insignificant number.
And Indeed, it is not, because this is not a big list, and most of the guys on it, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, they either are or will be Hall of Famers.
Tua going to throw. Another catch there for Waddle. That catch good for only a couple.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On 2nd and goal, Tua. The quick slant caught. Touchdown, Dolphins. Henry Ruggs with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Derek Brown, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. That's pulled in at the 32, and he goes out right around the 39. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Check the backer, check the backer. Kill.
On second down, Williams. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
He's not going to get me. Check the hungry.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Under 10, under 10, 10.
They'll hand it off now, Williams. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Watch the run, watch the run. Hatch it, slam, slam, slam. Switch, yellow. Watch yellow, Lonnie.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Here we go.
Williams again, and he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
So they brought the extra bulk in down on the 1 yard line, and they're able to push this one across.
Yeah, I can just see your face right now because I know we're mind melding on this one. Coach Madden would love this. Power football, hat on a hat, chest to chest, driving forward, touchdown.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers.
Barkley hit and the ball pops free.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really just...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Derek Brown, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Here's the Jets punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It'll be a 41-yard punt, give them 5 on the return. Miami's offense set and ready to go. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total.
And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the handoff, it's Gaskin, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Shifts by him, and he is out of bounds inside the 35. A Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
To throw on second down, Jenkins. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The Jets on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Jenkins. Catch made. It's Moreau. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work, and the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown. A great effort there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season.
And the Dolphins are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
First down, Jenkins. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Operating from the gun, Jenkins. He's going to find Gallup here complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. The ball popped in the air and intercepted.
Isaiah Simmons picking it off.
And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
After the turnover, it's Tua. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle with his 19th touchdown, his second of the game. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
On 3rd down, Barkley. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40.
to a hit, and the ball is out.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So they keep the football, but now face 2nd and long.
59 Mike, 59 Mike, check, 59.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw.
He'll let this go deep for Ruggs.
This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown.
Henry Ruggs. As the first half is winding down. And the Dolphins will extend their lead here just before halftime. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession, as they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break.
And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
Tackled by Isaiah Simmons.
So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room.
As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start up at Highmark Stadium, just outside of Buffalo. And in the second quarter, it is the Eagles who are out in front. Allen Lazard, a touchdown reception. From there, we head on over to Wisconsin to check on the Packers at home at Lambeau Field. And they trail the visiting Lions in that one. Amon-Ra St. Brown up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Finally, let's get right to the center of the U.S. map and check in on the Chiefs at home in Kansas City. And they were winners as they defeat the visiting New England Patriots. Patrick Mahomes, excellent in the W, as his guys get victory number 12 on the year. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This taken in at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? Who? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 50 yards rushing for him here as he starts to close in now on 1,200 yards for the season.
They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
Here I come again. Here I come again.
This is Gaskin on the carry. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he'll give it here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And there's the pickup you want on 1st down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on 1st down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
Ball at the 14 for 2nd and 5. They'll run now with Gaskin. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. He pushes forward from maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
Come on, D. Watch the safety creep. Show it in. Black swap. Watch the edge.
Williams will try again. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. Yeah, boy, a good surge defensively. It'll depend on the mark, but I'm not sure he got there. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
The offense is going to stay out there. We'll see what the play call is. They need to find the right one here on 4th and goal. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. It's the fullback with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
They'll go to Barkley again. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 53 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage. You got a chance to rumble.
Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Back to throw. Jenkins. On the left side, Gallup's got it. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
To Barkley on the check down. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. He's got good size. We know he's tough to bring down running the ball. That also carries over to the passing game like we saw there.
And at his size, how'd you like to try and stop him on that angle route? Him coming out of the backfield, breaking sharply, catching the football. It's going to take a lot more than one guy most likely to break.
And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. It's their quarterback with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Jets are at least able to knock the deficit down a bit. Point after by Lambeau up and good. So they do get 1 score back, but still a long way to go here in the third quarter. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away.
Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men. That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
57 the mic. 57 the mic.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, these two teams met down in Miami earlier this year with the Dolphins winning that one. So they're looking for another win here at MetLife Stadium to take the season series 2-zip. Coming up on a 2nd and 6.
Here we go, D. Just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Hey.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this 3rd down.
Check 37. Kill. Hey, turn it up.
Out of the pistol, here's Williams. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And trying to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short, and he is short. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position.
A first down carry for Barkley. 67 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Barkley. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. To the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, Jenkins. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
He's had success running the football. This is more or less an extension of that because they drop it off to him on the screen. And I'll bet he's thinking to himself, if I didn't have to slow up a bit here in traffic, I could have really made something out of that one.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snap. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line.
Derek Brown
in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good. From 56 yards out.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
He'll let this go deep for Ruggs.
He's got a man complete. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Henry Ruggs.
Touchdown number 22 on the season.
And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them, because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. On the slant, he's got Davis.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Jenkins. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Derek Brown
In there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I noticed you used the word sparked, because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They begin the drive with Williams. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
96 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
Here's Gaskin. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Well, they've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
Well, after that pickup of a first down, I think some of the defensive guys are going to be looking over their coordinator and saying that was not in the scouting report. That went against every tendency most teams have. You don't usually hand the ball to your big guy in that situation. Sometimes you catch them by surprise.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the give, this is their fullback. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively, kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Again, it's Williams. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Good solid gain on first down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. On 2nd down now, it's Williams. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up.
Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on. Kill. SOS.
They run it again with Williams. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there in this passing game. It just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw. Jenkins into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland.
And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. On first down, it's Williams, and he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Mike, check, 59.
They'll run it with Williams. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Big D to take on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Jets, the rough season continues as they've plunged to 1-13. And they'll try again next week at home against New England. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.